Alright, let's talk peanuts. Not just a handful at a ball game, we're talking about a mountain of peanuts. Every year, American farmers pull off something amazing. They harvest around 5.9 billion pounds of these little legumes. That's billion with a B. Imagine all those peanuts, enough to fill stadiums. This isn't just a snack, it's a massive agricultural operation. It takes hard work, smart farming, and impressive machinery. These farmers aren't just growing food, they're fueling a nation's love for one of its favorite nuts. Most of these peanuts come from a few key states: Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Texas, and the Carolinas. These places have the right climate and soil that peanuts love. The farmers there have been doing this for generations, passing down knowledge. But they've also embraced modern technology to get the job done efficiently. This industry supports thousands of jobs, from the folks on the tractors to the people in the processing plants. It's a big deal for local economies and for the country's agricultural output. So, where do all these peanuts go? A whole lot of them end up in jars of peanut butter. We Americans love our peanut butter, on sandwiches with jelly and smoothies or straight off the spoon. But it's not just peanut butter. They're roasted for snacks, used in candies, and pressed for oil. Peanuts are everywhere, a staple in our pantries and our diets. So, stick around because we're about to dig into the world of peanut farming. Before a single peanut seed goes into the ground, there's a lot of work to do. Farmers start by preparing the soil. They need to make sure the earth is just right. That means tilling the land, breaking up compacted soil. This makes it loose and airy, perfect for tiny roots to grow. They might add nutrients based on soil tests, ensuring the ground has everything the peanuts will need. Once the soil is ready, and the weather warms up, it's planting time. This usually happens in late spring from April to May. Farmers use specialized planting machines. These machines open a furrow in the soil, drop the peanut seeds at precise intervals, and cover them up again. Spacing is important, giving each plant enough room to grow without crowding its neighbors. The depth of planting is also critical, usually about 2 inches deep. Soil temperature is a big one. Farmers wait until the soil is consistently warm, usually around 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Moisture is another key factor. The soil needs to be moist enough to help the seeds sprout, but not waterlogged. Farmers use high-quality peanut seeds, often specific varieties chosen for their yield, disease resistance, or suitability to the local climate. Some common types grown include Runner, Virginia, Spanish, and Valencia peanuts. It's the first step in a long journey to that 5.9 billion pound harvest. Peanuts are true sun worshippers. They need a lot of sunshine to thrive, typically around 120 to 150 frost-free days with plenty of warm weather. That's why they do so well in the southern states. Consistent warmth helps with everything from flowering to pod formation. Water is another absolute necessity. Peanuts need consistent moisture, especially during the critical stages of flowering and pod development. Many peanut farmers rely on irrigation to supplement rainfall. The right kind of dirt is also crucial for happy peanuts. They prefer well-drained, sandy, loam soils. The entire growing cycle for peanuts, from planting to harvest, takes about 4 to 5 months. During this time, the farmer is constantly monitoring the crop. It takes a lot of care and attention to detail to guide these plants through their life cycle. Just like any garden, peanut fields face threats from unwanted guests. Weeds are a major problem. They are aggressive competitors, stealing valuable water, nutrients, and sunlight from the peanut plants. Farmers have several tools in their arsenal to combat these pesky weeds. Early in the growing season, they might use mechanical cultivation, carefully tilling between the rows to uproot young weeds. Beyond weeds, there are also various pests and diseases that can attack peanut plants. Certain insects might feed on the leaves or roots, while fungal diseases can damage the plants and pods. To manage these pests and diseases, many farmers use an approach called Integrated Pest Management, or IPM. The aim is to keep pest populations below a level where they cause economic damage, ensuring a healthy harvest. Section 5. The Big Dig, Harvesting the Golden Pods. After months of careful tending, the big moment arrives: harvest time. This usually happens in the early fall, from September to October. Farmers carefully check the maturity of the pods. The first step in the mechanical harvest is done by a machine called a peanut digger. This impressive piece of equipment drives down the rows of peanut plants. It has sharp blades that run underground, cutting the main root of the plant just below the level of the peanut pods. Then, it gently lifts the entire plant from the soil, As it lifts them, it shakes off excess dirt and then inverts the plants, flipping them over so the peanuts are exposed on top. Once the peanut plants are dug and inverted, they are left in the field in neat rows called windrows. This field drying process usually takes a few days, sometimes up to a week or more. After the peanuts have dried sufficiently in the windrows, the next big machine rolls in. This is the peanut combine, also known as a thresher. It drives along the windrows, picking up the dried plants. The harvested peanuts are then conveyed into a large hopper on the combine. Section 6. From field to factory, first steps in processing. Once that big hopper on the combine is full, the peanuts begin their journey from the field. They are typically loaded onto trucks or wagons and transported to a local buying point or a shelling plant. At the buying point, the peanuts undergo their first round of inspection and grading. Samples are taken from each load to check for things like moisture content, foreign material, and damage to the pods. If the peanuts are too wet, they might need further drying before they can be safely stored or shelled. This initial assessment helps determine the next steps for that particular batch of peanuts. If the peanuts arrive with a moisture content that's still a bit too high, they will undergo further drying. Mechanical dryers are often used at the processing facilities to bring the moisture down to an optimal level. After drying and grading, the peanuts, still in their shells, are typically moved into large warehouses for storage. These storage facilities are designed to protect the peanuts from weather, pests, and contamination. Proper storage conditions are essential to maintain the quality of the peanuts until they are ready to be shelled and processed further. Section 7. Shelling, sorting, and roasting, getting them ready. The next big step for these stored peanuts is shelling. Most of us buy peanuts already out of their shells, unless you're at a baseball game. This shelling process is done by specialized machines at shelling plants. The peanuts are carefully fed into these machines, which are designed to crack the shells open without damaging the delicate kernels inside. The machines use a combination of rollers and screens to break the shells and then separate the kernels from the shell fragments. Once the kernels are freed from their shells, they go through a rigorous sorting process. Sophisticated machinery is used to sort these out. This can include gravity tables, which separate peanuts by density, and electronic color sorters, which use cameras and air jets to identify and remove any kernels that don't meet the quality standards. After the initial sorting, the peanuts are often sized. Different applications require different sizes of peanuts. For example, peanuts used for snacking might be larger, while smaller ones might be perfectly fine for making peanut butter or oil. Finally, for many uses, the peanuts are roasted. Roasting is what brings out that delicious, nutty flavor and aroma that we all associate with peanuts. The smell of roasting peanuts is truly something special. Section 8. From nut to butter, the creamy transformation. Now let's talk about one of America's favorite foods, peanut butter. A huge portion of that 5.9 billion pound harvest is destined to become this creamy or crunchy spread. The journey from a roasted, shelled peanut to a jar of peanut butter is a fascinating one. It all starts with those perfectly roasted kernels. They are cooled down after roasting and then typically blanched, which means their thin, papery skins are removed. The heart of peanut butter production is the grinding process. The cleaned, roasted peanuts are fed into grinding mills. These machines are powerful. They can use grinding plates or other mechanisms to break down the peanuts, releasing their natural oils and transforming them from solid nuts into a thick, flowy paste. Often, peanuts go through a couple of grinding stages. The first grind might create a coarse paste, and a second finer grind achieves that smooth texture many people love. For crunchy peanut butter, some coarsely chopped peanuts are often mixed back into the smooth paste. Once the peanut butter has reached the desired consistency and has all its ingredients mixed in, it's ready for packaging. Automated machinery fills jars with precise amounts of peanut butter. Section 9. Squeezing out the goodness peanut oil and why we love peanuts. Beyond peanut butter and snacks, peanuts are also a valuable source of oil. Peanut oil is a popular cooking oil prized for its high smoke point and mild flavor. The extraction of this oil is another impressive industrial process. There are a couple of main methods. One is cold pressing, where the peanuts are simply pressed mechanically to squeeze out the oil. The other common method is solvent extraction, where a solvent is used to draw out the oil from the peanuts, which is then refined. After the initial extraction, the peanut oil often undergoes a refining process. Refining can involve several steps, such as filtering to remove any solids, neutralizing to remove free fatty acids, bleaching to lighten the color, and deodorizing to remove any strong odors or flavors. The result is a clear, light-colored oil with a neutral taste that's great for frying, sautéing, and other cooking applications. Different types of peanut oil cater to various culinary needs. Peanuts are packed with nutritional benefits, making them a staple in American agriculture and our diets.